and we will start. Welcome to Section 31, episode number 345. I'm Dan Hammond. Joining me today, John Corbett. Welcome in.
It's good to be back, Dan. I think this is my third appearance. Less than 1% of your episodes. That's good.
You're up there with the number of guests, up on the top of the list. Probably up there with Charlie. I think Brad's been on a few times, but you must be getting close to the top. You asked to join, and I'm happy to have you to talk about the event you've got coming up. When is it, and where in the giant state of Texas is it?
It is away from the hurricanes. You don't have to worry. You won't have to deal with any natural disasters. I mean, you might get a small fracking earthquake. It's possible. Oklahoma, they're messed up.
That's a bold prediction. There's a lot of time between now and then.
Yeah. I shouldn't jinx it. It's November 9th through the 12th, I believe. I didn't bring notes. It's Veterans Day weekend 2017. So,
Yeah, that looks right. Excellent. So we got plenty of time. I got plenty of time to mail you a master's kit. Actually, John Carter has your master's kit if he hasn't sent it to you already.
Well, he's coming.
Perfect.
He's going to be there, Dan. The question is, are you? Well, I think we do have one West Coast of all people. Mr. Matt Kirk's coming to pimp his Project Excelsior. But
that's great. I mean, I'm glad he's been able to travel, and he's going out to Worlds. He's going to be able to go to your event. He is our ambassador that we're sending along.
That great choice. Because when I think Matt Kirk, I think ambassador, diplomacy.
I hit up Origins this year. I went to the Star Wars celebration in Orlando already. I went to Gen Con this year. My vacations are tapped out, so I would like to join you in November. I was thinking about it because you posted this a long time ago, and if this becomes a recurring thing, I think you can count on certainly more visitors from afar. I mean, it's got all the things going for it, right? It's cheap to fly into. It's in the off season. It's going to be over a holiday weekend, so you get an extra day. What kind of people? What kind of numbers are you expecting?
I know
what kind of people you're expecting.
Scumbags. That's who's coming to this thing. It's a scumbag convention hosted by a scumbag, full of scumbags, and we all know. You did a good job selling it. I guess I didn't have to come on, but I'm glad you. The point. I posted this. This idea came to me a long time ago because all my bad ideas, and the rub is you just get here and you don't got to pay for shit. Everything. It's cheap to fly into Dallas. We're about 65, 70 miles north of Dallas, so we're gonna have to run some shuttles, or you might have to splurge $25 to rent a car, make things easier. But that's really the only knock. Is that you got to drive, an hour to get up to the compound. But once you get here, you don't got to do shit. Everything we're going to have, you get set up with a bunk. Everyone's going to have a bunk. And if you do need fancy arrangements, there's hotels. Someone did post online about the bad reviews about the close by 2-star motels, but. You know what you're going to get there. You get what you pay for when you go to a motel. On the other side of town, you got to drive 10 minutes. You get yourself a nice La Quinta, one of those. We got a Holiday Inn Express. We got all the. We're a functional city of 20,000 here in Denison, but let's be honest, right? This has been a bad year for OP. It's not looking good. It's been some shit events. Like Gen Con was Gen Con. Gen Con's always good because you could do shit at Gen Con. But how many would you have? Eight people for the tournament for the 2E?
That's the problem. I mean, I didn't even play it in 2E because, like you said, there's too much other things going on. I'm happy to go and play in some of the side events, but there's so many things going on every day that I'm buying tickets for. Spending money to play in. Sitting and playing Star Trek for 8 hours is a tough sell. You've already got 12, 13 people signed up for your constructed tribbles and 2E, and there's a lot of overlap. There's not a lot of overlap. There's a lot of names that are on one list and not on the other. So you're gonna have a ton of people there. You can certainly overwhelm how many people we had at Gen Con, which I feel like we should have a big event there. We always have a decent amount of people. 8's pretty good for how things are going right now. We had 6, I think, for 1E. We had an even dozen for tribbles, I think. But I think you're probably going to blow away both of those numbers.
Yeah, well, I did I spent last year lobbying for Worlds in Orlando because they crushed it at Continentals the year before. But unfortunately, I wanted Worlds in Orlando, but I didn't want it in October. That's when I wanted Texas to be. But November is just as good. The weather, that's when fall hits. The weather's perfect. You don't got to worry about any kind of bad weather. And but unfortunately, some people had to make the choice between Texas or Worlds, and some of them chose Texas. I guess that's just, they're afraid I'm going to yell at them if they don't come. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a shame. What we have to do, I was babbling on the boards today because OP posted something about trying to find people to host. But we already have 4 good hosts. We have Atlanta, we got Orlando. Hopefully Texas, this looks like it'll work. Minnesota kind of shit the bed, but that was just a local player shit the bed. Someone just cracked the whip. The only problem, the West Coast is fine, but it's just a pain in the motherfucking ass to get to fly there, especially, Seattle. I went there a couple times because it was cheap, but man, it sucks. San Diego, it sucks because it's geographically. Oh man, it's
any time of year, it's always going to be a vacation spot anyway, so it's hard to justify. I mean, we had an event here in the middle of winter a couple of years ago. We had a Continentals or something, and it was great. We had a pretty good showing. The folks from Seattle came down. Folks from Tennessee flew out. We had people from all over. We would do it again, but like you said, it's not cheap like other places.
Yeah, that's what you're going to have to do at Masters. My buddy Ben Hoff had a good point. We got to put Masters by an airport hub, cities that are cheap to fly to, like Dallas, Chicago, Atlanta, Orlando. Minneapolis is also a cheap city to fly to. Luckily, I live in Dallas, so before I got the trucking gig, it was cheap. I could get a flight to just anywhere but San Diego. It was the only place that didn't want to give me a cheap ticket. But I think Gen Con, we should just have, instead of trying to do a whole weekend, because you said there's other shit to do, and just have one tournament, 1 2E, 1 1E on a day, just out of tradition. But it doesn't. I don't know if it needs to be. I don't think we need. I think Continental. I think we proved that Continentals has passed us by the whole model.
I like the late night events. We did Tribbles. We did Austin Powers one night. That was fun. When things are winding down and you don't have anything else to do, that's perfect time for that. Before you cut off and head off to play, Twilight Imperium or whatever. But I think that as light as the big events were, cut it down, play some sealed, just bring it down a little bit. With that, yeah. Anyway.
Well, like I said, we're not selling the game anymore. You're selling the gatherings of the remnants of the people who are still the strong, the last survivors of this goofy hobby.
Well, every day though, they still had people who were showing up to play sealed events that had never played before. So at least they're getting something out of that.
It's funny, that's happened every year, but I always call them the unicorns. They never come back. There's always been demos. It's been 15 years of demos, and because people go to Gen Con to just do shit. They just go around the game room, sit down, try shit all the time. But we've all, how many demos have you played that you're like, all right, and then you never play that game again. So I mean, yeah. I told you the myth of the new player. You just gotta breed them like I'm doing. Just keep breeding. I'm done breeding. I'm done. I can't breed anymore.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm too old.
I'm bringing up my 2. They've one of them plays Tribbles. That's as far as we got. I'm seeing a half dozen or a dozen events that you've got lined up here. Side event. We got constructed, limited, constructed, open, constructed. You're gonna have just things to do from dawn to dusk, yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna have we have non-nerd. We're gonna have fat guy sports activities. We're gonna have we're gonna have a small soccer field, fat guy approved size soccer field, and then we're gonna have a little kickball game. We got some kids running around. We're gonna try to not too crazy. And if any of us old fat guys have a heart attack, the regional Texoma Medical Center is within 6 miles. We'll get you to the. We'll have a trained medical pumping you within minutes. So.
Wow, I'm looking at the map now. I should have done some more research. You're really not far out of Dallas at all. Was it about an hour drive?
Yeah, it's an hour drive. Luckily, the airports are close by, DFW and Love Field. They're on the north side of town. Yeah, it's not too bad.
Are you expecting anybody coming in just for a day and then turning around and flying back, or are most of the folks being there for the whole shindig?
No. I mean, unfortunately, there's no local besides people with the last name Corbett, but there's a lot of those, so that's enough to sanction. But but that's enough. Yeah, we're already in the double digits, and I forget the question was. It's past my bedtime in the Central Time Zone. I can't do this. Yeah. It's West Coast.
All right. I saw you post in response to the OP announcement, looking for folks to run things. How many people are we going to be running events for before we try to do more online stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm not going to be an online player because I'm old and grumpy, and But I'm not. Like I said, I'm willing to trade an online world championship to have 4 gatherings in the U.S. a year that are standard every 3 months. You know what's going to be. You know it's going to be summertime in Minnesota. You know it's going to be wintertime down here. November is Texas. And people are going to make 2 of those a year. I mean, because that's what you're doing. You went to Gen Con to hang out with the Gen Con crew, Charlie.
Yeah.
I saw it was mostly all the same originals. If I wasn't doing the Orlando, Texas combo at the end of the year, I probably would have tried Gen Con one last time.
But we had regionals that were online this year, right? These neutral zone regionals. So it's just trivially easy to cheat with laggy. Now, if you're cheating at Star Trek, you've got more problems.
Well, we know people. There's still those people for some.
There's still those people, but I mean, the fact that it is so ridiculously easy to do, just anytime you lose, that's got to be going through your head, right? I mean,
I only play triples online, and I'll know if you're cheating. Josh cheats. I'll know. I'm watching you, Josh. No, you don't.
All right.
He's a scumbag, but he's not a cheater.
I feel like it's something that we could expand to. We could probably have a regional is the first level. I don't know why we wouldn't have a continental that anyone can play in. We could have a worlds, but it's just there's got to be either a different platform or some other way of I don't know.
Just put some resources into it. Someone's going to have to make it not laggy, because like I haven't played triple. I used to play triples for a while online, and then I saw someone was doing it tonight, and I'm like, I don't even remember how to use laggy. I'll spend 10 minutes trying to figure it out, and then I won't want to play triples anymore. So it was kind of like that. It's nothing wrong with laggy, but I couldn't play a game of 2E on it. But that's just me. But I mean, that's for a different market of people. That's for the online play is for the 2E is dying crowd, but those. I don't know how to. I was going to write a good card backwards. I wrote about it. I wrote one a couple months ago about how everyone's kind of looking for a villain or looking for a reason for the quote demise of 2E. And I was talking to people like Josh Sheets when I was rolling through Cincinnati. Like, from our perspective, the game hasn't changed in 3 or 4 years. We just travel to 3-4 events a year. We see mostly the same people, and we play the game. But if you're sitting in your Arby's, and that's the only time you play Star Trek, and people don't show up to your Arby's, you're going to think the game is dying. But it is from your perspective. So if you're not willing to travel, you're going to be in this stage of the ball game. You're going to have that opinion. But I guess, that's what those people. That's what the online play can provide them. There's just a certain amount of antisocial people. Not everyone wants to get on a plane or get on or drive and hang out with.
That social aspect, getting together and sitting, with even if it's 3 other guys, for 3 hours of playing games, that's, what you just don't get. I mean, you can chat with someone who may or may not be using Skype or whatever, over the course of 3 hours to get in a single 1E game, but it's just not the same as, just meeting up and eating and playing and, just shooting the breeze between games. I think we're coming up on the time of year where, the con seasons are over. People are not traveling nearly as much. I think we'll probably have an uptick as, we usually get into our league time between now and, April. So we'll probably I'll be getting back into the game, playing a few more local events.
Well, I preferred when the calendar ended in the old Decipher days. That's the one thing we don't keep. We're still using every outdated OP system with regions and continentals and regional. But we're at least Decipher, the calendar ended in November. That's when Worlds was in the Decipher days. You had your summer cons, and then you have Worlds in November, and that's what we're kind of getting back to towards the end of the year. And I just prefer that. Maybe that's just me.
What's the difference? I mean, what does the calendar change mean? Well, right now our calendar starts in springtime?
Yeah, springtime regional. I mean, that's what leagues were intended to do, is to fill the gap, because it was kind of like you had your Gen Con. It used to be for a while. You had Origins, 4th of July weekend, and then like a month later, towards mid to late August, you have Gen Con, and then that was it. That was it until regionals, until springtime. So that was a lot of dead time. So that's what originally. When I came out with league play, that's what it was for, just for something to fill the schedule. So, I mean, we also got to remember. I mean, it's hit or miss. Like if Orlando, if Worlds is in the summer, I can't bring the family because I can't. Texas is they're sons of bitches with kids missing school. So I mean, it being but I don't know. I just. It's just my preference that we wrap the league the Trek calendar towards the end of the year. Seems more circular, or I'm just sick in the head.
All right, we got Orlando coming up, assuming their cards are dried off and they can play.
Texas they went to the other side.
Yeah.
No, Hurricane hit Tampa. They saved it was all for Worlds.
Should be fine. Texas coming up, and then we'll be quiet for a little while. I don't think we have any major events coming up until regional season. I expect we would have a nationals or something, but I don't see anything on the calendar.
Well, and in regionals, we got to accept. We got to stop pretending the regionals aren't just locals now, which is fine. If regionals is the excuse to get everyone back together, it's becoming kind of like a local reunion for everybody else. We do our team jersey. We do do it unofficially in the summer.
It's the one weekend between March and June where you say, okay, if you're only going to come to one event, come to this one. We schedule it so everyone can make it. Everyone comes out. You play in one game. Hopefully, that's kind of spirit. You play a few more games before or after, but we try to get at least one in, right?
Yeah, it's become the local roundup season, which is fine. So, but I mean, that's why we can still keep it around for organized play. But for everything else, with continentals and the nationals, that's never meant nothing in America. I mean, there's just been so many, and I don't mean to criticize OP too much because they got it. The new crew took over from the old crew after a lot of years of English and Australian rule and organized play, and it's just, I mean, you can't just slap a Masters on a tournament in Seattle and then no one shows up besides the locals, and it's just it makes what does it matter? What does it matter? Just who gives a shit? It's just a name. It's just a name you're slapping on something. That's why I prefer to see four set in stone tournaments a year in America, and that's it. You're getting people together, and it's going to be my last. I can't guarantee my last rant, but. For all the people who say the game is dying, why do you still play the game, Dan? Why? Why? Is it Star Trek cards? Is the game so interesting? The game is the game. You've been playing the same game. That's why a lot of people moved on, because they got tired of playing the same game. They just, every couple of years, they move on to a different game. But why are me and you still here?
I like the property. I like the people who play. It's an excuse to get together, right?
The people, Dan, because you have social skills and you made friends. Now, let's be honest. A lot of people who've played this game didn't have social skills. They just weren't. There's a lot of puss face people, and let's be honest, not everybody, makes friends. There are a lot of grumpy motherfuckers, and be honestly, not in 8 out of 10 people that don't play anymore. I could do without them. They were kind of, I mean, it's kind of I'm being a dickhead, but they weren't able to form social skills. Like, we're all getting together. We have a team jersey reunion, not to play Star Trek cards. We just all get together. We play a tournament, and then we just hang around, grill, and drink beer, and bunch of fat guys getting a pool. That's a little weird, but
So are you saying that a lot of players say when the game was being sold in that era, their social calendar revolved around this game because it was the one time that they could actually be social with other people, and as the game died and the number of people wrapped up. A lot of people jumped ship and went to another game so they could have an excuse.
Well, I don't know if they weren't playing it to be social, but a lot of people, some people like to just play a game they think it's happening. They're happy to buy cards to be part of something. You see with the Star Wars Destiny, like how many Star Wars games are you going to fucking buy? People like it's how much are you going to they're going to keep milking you all day for that damn logo. So it is going to be part of something that's happening. They play a game, they play it for a while, they get bored, they move on. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not. My point of my blog was that it doesn't reflect on the game. Sometimes you look for a villain, like, oh, there's something wrong with the game. The fucking game has been fucking great for the last 5 years. Look at, like, there's different things when you go to a tournament, with the exception of my experience in Chicago when I had to play OT Kirk 5 times, which is an outlier compared to every other tournament. I go to DC and I lose to a bunch of different stuff. So, like, the game is fine. It's the people, and there's no villain. There's no, just it's everything is the way it's supposed to be. I don't know why people think it was what was going to happen. It was going to be us. It was just going to be me and you, Dan, here talking at the end of the fucking world.
Yeah, well, 345 episodes in, I probably have 1 or 2 viewers. So hopefully someone hears this who doesn't know about Texas and they're going to all of a sudden show up. Something you mentioned a second ago about the game being in a good state. If you go to the championship page, you can scroll through and see all the different icons of what's winning. Man, I don't remember the last time I saw quite the rainbow of different affiliations that are up there now. You can pretty much put together anything, it looks like. I mean, there's TOS up here. There's not the slate of just 100 TNG decks or 100 Klingon decks.
Yeah, remember there was a lot of shitty years. There was a Worlds final of Neil versus Ben Haas, the same fucking Klingon deck, and more people watched us play an OTSD multiplayer battle royal were watching us than watching the Worlds finals. That shows you that's a shit game. That was a shit game. No one wants to see that.
Same era, we used to have the affiliation draft during regional season where we'd, kind of choose the dream team of what we'd bid for affiliations and see who would get the most points. It's so much up in the air right now. I don't think you can do that. It's just
we had our league was you get bonus points for things that weren't played in consecutive weeks, like +2. So if no one played Maquis in like 4 weeks, you get +8 to encourage. Now you wouldn't have to do that. Now people would be playing different shit, with the exception of Khan. I'm sorry, Nick. No one's playing Khan.
Yeah, I didn't see that icon up here. Sorry. All right.
It's early. Nick's waking up screaming, but it's time to go to work for Nick, so it's okay. That's all right. Get to work, Nick. You piece of shit. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. Well, maybe it is a little bit.
All right, man. Look, we've talked about Texas coming up. We've talked about the organized play. How is you came out to San Diego a while back on your driving tour. We chatted about things going on behind the scenes. How are things going? With what's going on behind the scenes. Can you talk about any of that?
Oh, good. Well, good. If you ask a question, then I have plausible deniability. Charlie can't yell at me when I break down the fourth wall. And like you said, you've been doing. I bowed out after the discard pile, after my viewership declined dramatically after 3 years. But you're sticking in there. You're. Yeah, fuck it.
Rogue and I do this because we like talking to each other and talking and laughing about things every week. So, we're in it for us.
I support. I said I would do the discard pile just to listen back and laugh at Ben Haas or somebody else who was on the show. But I started driving a truck. I didn't have time to listen to it. So I'm like, I did the show for me, and then I wasn't enjoying it. So I'm like, what the fuck? I don't care that, And the only time people would watch a show is when I would have Charlie on to yell at him about some nerd drama. And people act like they hate nerd drama during the Great Nerd War, but people were tuning in for me to yell at Charlie. So behind the scenes, that's right. I'm talking out of school now. Project Asher. I don't know if Ross has announced the official name yet. I won't spoil it, but that tentatively. I'm stepping on Ross's toes. It should be the classic release at Worlds, not legal for Worlds situation, which would be good. Hopefully, there's no delays, and people will see the new stuff. And I'll get in trouble. I don't design anymore. I'm done. I'm not designing because I was told I'm the worst designer in history, and I didn't have a good argument against it because I was like, I made the Toluno. No one's using it. I'm the only designer you're going to find that goes, yeah, I fucked up. That was not a good card. I shit the bed. I made a wall of text, and I'm sorry. So I'm not designing anymore. I have more of a manager. I'm the night shift manager at KFC of design. If that's a thing.
Just keeping the lights on and making sure the wheels move.
Yeah, well, that's Ross's job. I don't know what I'm a custodian. I just shepherd. So Project Asher, though, we got good designers, not like me. We had 4 of them. And a lot of new blood. That's what it's all about. But with Tyler's not new blood, but he had the experience. And we had Mike Shea, the rookie, and then we had 2 of the newer guys, Nathan Miracle and Lucas. And these are my 2 horses that, since I'm not going to design anymore, we're going to ride those 3, Mike, Nathan, and Lucas. I'm going to ride them to come up with good shit. So I look like a smart guy. People are going to do work, and I'm going to take credit for their. No, I'm not going to take credit for their.
That's the way to do it.
No one's going to believe that I designed a good card. It's never happened. Maybe one dilemma, and then someone else took credit for it, but that's okay. I don't care. But Asher's going to drop. But Asher, the deal is now, the sets are going to be smaller because of I think that's the way to go. That's just my choice. Because I know there's some talk about people talk about 90 card sets. That would be great, but there's not enough people anymore to do that. It's hard to get playtesting. Playtesting is a grinding, thankless, shitty activity. You get no reward for it besides me saying thank you. And who gives them? That's it. That's all there is. You know. And you get people kissing your ass. In meetings and CC. We love the playtesters, but it doesn't do nothing. So
yeah,
I bless them.
Playtesters on the 1E side are difficult in that we get 1 or 2 groups that test all the time, and then they post opposite things, and then they complain when we don't. Anyway, testers are another thing.
Well, no, that's the problem of being a tester. Well, yeah. I mean, Ross has gotten some new people in, and we're about to see him situation. You get about 2 groups that can bang out the reports, and that's another reason about smaller sets. So you can say, hey, you work on this, and then we kind of streamlined the whole process. Try to get so there were some delays between before my last set. Was it 0 Hour? I think it was called. I called it Hard Time. That was already a different set before that. I can't keep track of the names. And if you haven't noticed, Project Asher is named after Spartacus Gladiator. That's my fault. So that's that, and it's going to keep happening until Charlie fires me from yet another CC job. But I'm going for the record. I think this would be my 4th CC job. I get
already
fired
had the trifecta, huh? Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's a good question. I was originally the North American Organized Play Director. That lasted for a while, and I think I was a league coordinator or something, and that lasted for a while. And then I got fired from something. Oh yeah, it had a term limit, but then I kind of got fired. It was a you're going to get fired at this date. Yeah. So errata, and then I'll give yeah. We're going for the Grand Slam of nerd jobs.
Are you happy with how the set is turning out?
Yeah. Fuck it. Let's just keep saying shit until Charlie fires. This is the reason why Charlie fires me. It kind of came from the top down. How a set, just the ideas behind a set. It would just come from the top down. So we flipped it and became kind of like a pitch process. Like, all right, designers, what do you got? You got ideas? What do you got? And one was Tyler's idea, some was somebody else's idea. And people work better on their own ideas.
Sure,
that's my theory, right? Or something, or an idea that they hear and go, "Oh, I like that. Let's do that." And so people are going to work on their own shit. So let's hope their ideas are good. But with a 27 card set too, you trim a lot of the fat. And let's be honest, there's been a lot of fat in the last couple of expansions.
Man, that's tough because I'm working on the big set, and it's going to be hard to get down to that magic number of 54. I can't imagine pitching. I mean, granted, 54 cards. That's
1E's a little different.
1E's a little different. We got a lot of things that we want to do, and I might, there are 2 or 3 themes. We could probably cut it down to 1 theme and be down at that size. And, playtesting would be a lot more focused, and it would be something we could do a lot faster. I know we've got some small boutique sets coming through that are expecting, but man, that's such a different paradigm. I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes with the next couple of sets of 2E, if that's what you guys are doing.
Yeah, and if people are concerned, if anyone does watch this, and then but I'll be fired by then. If anyone's worried about getting less cards, and one of the concerns was that a set comes out and then they don't play enough to go through all the cards. So I think a smaller set's better. But we're also going to try to put out a couple boutique sets. And down in San Diego, Johnny had an idea years ago about warp packs. Try to have a 2E warp pack, maybe 9 cards for an affiliation that's towards the bottom of the power rankings. So
that's cool.
We're going to try to. We're going to start. We've got through Asha. We're halfway through Project Barca. Not halfway. We just started Project Barca. We're halfway through a boutique set, and we're going to get started on a warp pack.
So like a warp pack.
There are on the bottom. There, yeah. This might be one of my dumb ideas. Like I say, I every now and then I spit out ideas, and I know they're not all good. But I posted up power rankings, and they're based. And the top 5 I'm good about. But once you go below top 5, it's really anybody's fucking opinion. And the point is to try to have all the designers kind of like, remember that hurt and heal bullshit that was on the message boards. So kind of just keep. And there's also for people to pay attention to the game, see what's out, see what's winning, see what decks are good, and try to keep the power rankings between everyone in design, just so everyone has their finger on the pulse of the game. And I don't want to do con. I'm sorry. There is a con card in Asher.
All right.
There's a con card, and I hate myself for making one. And it was on the guy who said, "I'm the guy who said stop. Let's stop chasing bad money with good money. Let's stop trying to." All of us, con is an abusive spouse to all of us people who play 2E, because we're all thinking, "Oh, I can fix it. I can fix con. I have an idea." We all want to fix con. Stop. It's just going to keep. But I saw this card, and I'm like, "Fuck. I like this card. Fuck." So I'm like, "All right, let's do it. It's fun."
All right. I enjoyed playing con on DS 9. It was fun. So I'm looking forward to this new card. All right.
The only time I play con was DS9, but we're doing it wrong.
Yeah, doing it wrong. All right, John. I'm going to wrap this up. Anything else you want to say before we close out? And
no, I said all the people who left this game are mostly antisocial, and I said a lot of shit that Charlie's going to get mad about. So I think we're good. Come to Texas before I get fired. You got 2 months.
I see down in the bottom right 0 viewers, and I don't think that's going to go up very much higher after I post this.
Nice,
so I don't think I'm worried about it.
Nice. Well, my name is going to get you at least 2 views. 2.
Yeah. All right, John. Thanks for joining me. Much appreciated. You can. I tried plugging your stuff last time, but you don't post. I want to see another good card, bad card. So
yeah.
What to write about.
I have two big fans, you and Brian Sykes. I'll try to do more. I'll try to do a better job.
Right on. All right, thanks, John. In the meantime, expand your power in the universe. I'll draw to end. I can't do the ending thing without Rogue because he's.
Where the fuck is Rogue this whole time?
I don't know.
He hates me so much. Why? Why Rogue?
Have a good week.